Is one of the most ardent Brexiteers in the Conservative Party and chair of the European Research Group, Rees Mogg. Hello to you, Mr. Rees Mogg. Thank you for joining us.
Nice to see you.
What does she need to come back with to placate you?
I think if she could get rid of the backstop and have it removed from the withdrawal agreement, that would enable her to get her deal through the House of Commons. Bear in mind, the withdrawal agreement sets out in Article 4 that it is superior law. So just having a few warm words around it really wouldn't be enough because it wouldn't have the necessary legal standing.
She is being told, or we're all being told, by the European leaders that that's never going to happen. So, given that she won't be able to get rid of the backstop, what else might placate you?
Well, then we leave without a deal and the European Union doesn't get its £39 billion that it needs, particularly in the 21 months remaining of the multi-annual financial framework. And this creates serious problems for the EU because either Germany will have to pay more or Poland will have to receive less. So it would be a real hole in the European Union's budget, money that we are willing to pay if the EU offers us a sensible deal.
Of course, there's another option, which is stopping Article 50.
Well, yes, of course there is. We could just ignore all democracy and install a dictatorship. But it would be a really shocking approach to take when 17.4 million voted to leave. And it's really interesting talking to people. People are saying, I didn't vote for a deal, I voted to leave. And it's leaving that has to be delivered upon, and that means being out of the customs union, out of the single market, out of the European court, and not paying them large amounts of money. All the things Theresa May used to promise. That's what she has to deliver on.
Not really a dictatorship, though, is it? I mean, the European Court of Justice, which is, a revered body, has said that that can happen.
It would be a revered body by whom?
Certainly not by you, but,
no, not
by many others.
I'm not sure who they are. We'll have to try and find them.
Quite a lot of your esteemed colleagues in the House behind us.
One or two Europhiles may like it. But when I say dictatorship, it would be the overthrowing of that vote in June 2016 when we decided to leave. If we were arbitrarily decide, the government was suddenly to say we're revoking Article 50, that would be a real scandal. And it would be ignoring the biggest democratic exercise this country's ever had, which was then reinforced by a general election in which both the Labour Party and the Conservative Party committed to implementing the result of the referendum. So can politicians just say anything and then do the reverse? Can they pile lies upon lies?
They want a people's vote.
They had one. They may have missed it. Perhaps they were asleep on the 23rd of June 2016. We had a vote. 17.4 million people voted to leave. What they want is a loser's vote, a vote of people who never wanted to leave and don't accept that in a democracy, when you lose, you have to accept the result. That's how democracy works.
Do you not accept there have been material changes since then?
No.
Not least 1.5 million people, I'm told, have died since then. And the vote was, I think, something like 750,000 in favour of leaving the European Union.
No, it wasn't. It was over 1 million in favour. The 750,000 is the swing figure of people you would need to have changed your mind.
Nevertheless, 1.5 million people have died since the vote was taken place.
This is a really eccentric view, if I may say so. This would be true after every...
It's put forward by the opposite side to you, and we have to respect both sides, of course.
You're very fair-minded, and you always put the other side. But you could say this after every election, couldn't you? You could say, on the May the 3rd, so many people voted, and one party won by X votes, and on May the 10th, so many people have died, and therefore you should have another vote. But democracy doesn't work like that. You have a vote on a specific day. Those who turn up to vote exercise their democratic right. The decision is then made, and once that decision is made, it's implemented. To say different people might have voted on another election day doesn't actually make any sense.
What about the people of Northern Ireland who voted to remain? We've been putting this point to several of our guests today. They voted to remain. Why not have the border, the backstop, right down the middle of the Irish Sea? The people of Northern Ireland want to remain in the European Union. Why not let them?
It would breach the Belfast Agreement, and it would breach the Act of Union with forming the United Kingdom. The Belfast Agreement says there will be no change in the constitutional status of Northern Ireland without the people of Northern Ireland voting in favour of it. They haven't done that. They voted in a referendum which was a whole UK referendum, and Northern Ireland is part of the United Kingdom because it wants to be. So that is a whole vote for the whole country, and to split them off, as I say, would break the Belfast Agreement.
What's to be done about Mrs May?
Well, I think she should resign. The major plank of her policy cannot get through Parliament. Her negotiation has been unutterably weak, and she's gone off to the continent to ask for something that a week ago she said was impossible. I think in all decency, in all duty, her period of office should now come to an end.
It would appear that not enough people agree with you, though, because not enough numbers have still given letters to Sir Graham Brady.
Dare I say that 24-hour railing news is very impatient. Politics evolve.
You gave us the impression that that was going to happen weeks ago.
A week is a mere bagatelle. Harold Wilson may have said a week is a long time in politics. But in the normal stretch of our history, a week is a very short time. Wait and see.
You're frustrated and disappointed that it hasn't happened.
I'm never frustrated and
now.
I don't suffer from disappointment, no.
I'm glad to hear that, but nevertheless that is the case. You did expect enough letters to have been handed in by now. Even suggestions by some of your supporters that the letters were being shredded, God forbid.
Well, I think that was a joke. But as the very distinguished Sir Peter Tapsell said to me, former Father of the House, he said to me, you should always remember there is more time in politics than you think. And I always thought that was very good advice.
Who should she be replaced by?
Well, fortunately the Tory party has so many able people who could take over. But I think it's important that it's somebody who believes in Brexit. And so my top three would be Boris Johnson, David Davis and Dominic Raab. OK, and you don't care which three of those? I think each of those could do it very well. I do have a favourite amongst them, but let's wait and see.
Who's that?
It's Boris. I think Boris has a greater reach, but any of those three I would be willing to support with enthusiasm. OK, good to talk to you. Always
Thank
a pleasure.
you very much indeed for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank you.